Hello, it's Playstar, and I'm here to talk about Thor Ragnarok.
It's main event time. And now, I give you your incredible...
So obviously from the trailers, Thor Ragnarok is much crazier, much brighter, and action-packed than all the other previous Thor films. It's safe to say, Thor Ragnarok is by far the best Thor film in the trilogy. It's safe to say that because it is true, and I couldn't point at anyone that would say it's not. So we got that covered. Now, Thor Ragnarok is a very funny film. At the same time, it's quite serious. It's kind of half and half, and of course we got great action. Honestly, the action, it's completely action-packed, and it fits about 3 comics worth of stories into one movie. But it's not cramped at all. In fact, it feels very coherent. In fact, it feels even like it's kind of a little bit empty. Not in a bad way, but it feels like they could put even more in. But honestly, perfect film. I will talk more about anything bad at the end of this. So, obviously we got Hulk in this film. He doesn't take the stage from Thor at all. He feels like he's there naturally, and obviously the storyline for him to go there at the end of Age of Ultron is there. A lot of things are left not completely 100% explained, but you can kind of fill in the gaps, and it kind of do leave the evidence there for you to say, okay, that happened, and that's what you do. Now, I went to see this film in IMAX 3D, digital IMAX 3D, and I can safely say, if you can get to an IMAX theatre, or just any IMAX theatre, go there, because Jesus, this is an IMAX film. This is worthy of the IMAX ticket, honestly. It's like maybe 90% or so of the film is in IMAX, and it just makes it so much better. The movie opens so strongly with an awesome action scene. It ends so strongly with an awesome action-packed third act, like the best third act any movie has ever had, ever in the history of movies. Like, honestly, it's not like something just for the Marvel fans, like only Marvel fans will enjoy it. I think everyone can enjoy this film, and it's not like you need to watch all other 15 Marvel films to understand this. You just go ahead and watch this. You don't even need to watch the other Thor films, really. Maybe Thor: The Dark World, but you don't really need to, because everything that happened in that film is resolved. Everything that was left unresolved is resolved like very early on. Now, of course, we've got some great cameos from obviously Stan Lee, a couple of other huge stars in really cool and fun ways. And honestly, it's just worth seeing just for them, really. Now, the director, I believe it's Taika Waititi. He's like freaking crazy in a good way. Like, this film is like an explosion of crazy and cool and awesomeness. It's just one, and it's perfect. Honestly, this is kind of how the cosmic universe and the Marvel Cinematic Universe is adapted, like kind of the 80s rock punk style vibe, which was in Guardians of the Galaxy. That's why that film did so well. So Thor was kind of doing it dark, and they didn't really do as well. So they were like, okay, you know what? Let's do it like Guardians of the Galaxy, and damn, did they do it well. This movie is very much standalone, but at the same time, it sets up other films that continue. Music is also great. There aren't many standout tracks, but obviously you got the Immigrant Song, which is the standout song, which is there a couple of times. We learn a lot about Asgard's history and history with Odin and all that. So I can't really get into this without going to spoilers, so that will all be in my spoiler review. So, Obviously, a true Marvel fan waits until the end of the credits because there is a mid-credit scene, and there is a mid-credit scene, and there is a post-credit scene. And I think both are worth watching. Obviously, the mid-credit scene more than the post-credit scene, as you know, the post-credit scene have now more or less kind of been funny, like storyline closures in each film. That's what they've been doing very recently. Now, obviously, we all know that Thor Ragnarok's meant to kind of have a three movie type arc for the Hulk, because they're not really going to do a solo movie. And this is pretty good for the Hulk. Like, we get a lot of screen time for the Hulk, not more than Thor, obviously, but we get a lot of screen time for Hulk. And other standout characters such as Valkyrie, Thor, they're all good. Even Scourge the Executioner, he is like, you end up like, you kind of always kind of like him, and you end up liking him a lot more in the end. He's just perfect. Odin plays a pretty good role in this, I'd say a pretty important role in this. And Loki as well, he does well in this. He's not really a villain in this one. He's kind of a little bit villainous, but not a villain. However, the villain, Hela, played by Kate Blanchett, she is one of the MCU's best villains. I don't know if she'd be better than Loki. It's tough. Perhaps not, but yeah. Now this movie perhaps does the best job of balancing comedy and seriousness at the same time. It's a bit more comedy than seriousness, but some parts of the film are very serious and kind of sad. Now, there are some parts that could be done even more importantly, which they kind of aren't, and they're kind of not, like, you know, they should be important to the main character, but it's not really addressed. It doesn't have to be really, because it's minor stuff, but I don't know, it could have been used for emotional leverage, perhaps. They could have done that, but they didn't need to. Now, one of the biggest complaints about the MCU is the role that, what's his name? The guy that Heimdall has, basically. I forgot his name. But, you know, the actor wanted a much bigger role. He didn't get, like, a huge role in previous films. But I'd like to say he has a pretty good role here. It's a lot bigger than the others. Not huge, but it's a lot bigger, and I hope he'll be using Infinity War more. The film also does do the job of addressing kind of little plot holes the MCU has, and like, I'll address the example, but I won't say how it's resolved, because some people even sketch you on tiny little spoilers. It's like a 2-second thing. It's not really a spoiler, but I'm not going to tell you anything properly about the film, the movie, because I want you to go in and enjoy it fresh. But you know that Easter egg in the first Thor movie, where we have you may see the Infinity Gauntlet with the gems in the background. That's resolved here in a perfect way. So do not worry about that anymore. Okay, don't worry about that. Now, obviously, I haven't seen all of the Marvel movies recently. I wouldn't know where to rank this compared to them. But at the moment, just out off the bat, I'm going to say it's my favourite MCU movie. Honestly, I just loved everything about it. It was absolutely perfect. Honestly, there was nothing I didn't enjoy about it. Like, it was fun, it was serious, all at the same time, and it was awesome. Like, the third act is just scene after scene after scene of awesomeness, pure awesomeness. Like, the third act is the best third act in the history of third acts. It's so awesome, like, amazingly awesome. Like, you should see it just for that. And even the opening scene is fantastic. Like, there's not one bad moment in this film. And we all know Doctor Strange is in this from the previous Doctor Strange mid-credits scene, and he has a small but it's more of a cameo, but it's a long, elongated cameo, and it's fantastic. Now, there are obviously some changes between trailer and movie. Some things that we've seen, like, for example, Hela destroying the hammer in New York Alley. Obviously, that's now some countryside thing in the movie. It's done. They were going to go for a whole different thing with New York thing, but then they decided, okay, we're going to do it here, and it pays off, because honestly, it doesn't really fit with the New York Alley when I'm not going to say anything, but you'll see what I mean when you see it. Now they've also addressed, in the comics obviously Hela is the son, sorry, Hela is the daughter of Loki. Now I'm not going to say what it is in the MCU, but they've addressed it in, obviously that's kind of difficult to do in the MCU, so they've kind of adapted it in a way which is perfectly valid, perfectly fine, and in fact I ended up preferring it. The special effects are off the chart, perfect. It's not like the Apocalypse ending where it's just CGI. It's all done well, but all the effects are fantastic, on peak, honestly. I cannot give you. I'm supposed to be a critic, but I cannot give you. I'm not a massive Thor fan, but honestly, I cannot give you one bad moment in this film. I can't. I'm sorry. There's not one moment in this film that I didn't enjoy. I cannot stand here and tell you that there was a part I did not enjoy. I honestly don't know. Which means I'm struggling with the review now because, nothing really gets a 10 out of 10. So I'm stuck. I would say a 9 or a 10 out of 10. Okay, I'm gonna give it a score. But it's really hard because, I can't really, there's nothing bad about it, but nothing gets a 10, basically. So, if I was going to rank it from all the MCU films, I would say it's at the top because honestly, I haven't seen the others recently, so I probably will need to rewatch them. But honestly, I think I did enjoy this the most out of all of them. So I think it will be a 9 out of 10, but honestly, I can't. I'm leaning to more. I would like to lean to more towards 10, but I don't like doing decimals. So you know what? Let's do a percentage, which is even more difficult. Let's start doing percentages, just like Rotten Tomatoes, okay? I'm gonna give this one, as of now, it is tough. I can't obviously give it 100%. I'm gonna give it 98%. I'm gonna say it's a 98%, maybe 97, but one of those two. Obviously, from what's come out this year, 2017, I'm gonna say so far it's the best movie of the year. I'm gonna say I highly recommend you to watch this. I highly recommend you to watch this movie. Go and watch it as soon as possible, preferably in IMAX digital, because it does add a lot to the movie. It makes it that much more awesomer, and 90% of it is in IMAX digital, obviously. So you don't have to go to your nearest 15 perforation IMAX, full IMAX theater, which is like 10 hours away or whatever. Just go to your nearest digital if that is nearer to you and watch it, because you're gonna get pretty much the same experience. Honestly, perfect movie. Go and watch it. There's nothing more to say. This review is over. Goodbye. No, sorry. No. Thank you for watching my review. You can click here to watch the you can click here to watch the last review of the Inhumans, my suggestions to the Inhumans series right here. Or you can watch the next part, the spoiler review when it's up, right here. Spoiler review for Thor Ragnarok, right here when it's up. I will try and remember to do those, obviously. Yeah. Thank you for watching. Make sure you watch this movie. Make sure you watch the spoiler review when you see it. Or if you don't care about spoilers, you can see it now. I would recommend you go and see the movie first, because you're going to regret it when you just see a spoiler review, then go and see it and be like, oh, that's a damn awesome movie. Go and see the movie, okay? Go and see the movie, come back, click here. Or just click on my channel, whatever. Thank you for watching. And, yeah, as always, play star. Ow.